Iniciar sesión.
Ahí está.
Ya estamos. Hi, good afternoon. How are you, Juan?
Hi, Noah. Very good. And you? How are you?
Fine, thank you. So it's been a long time since we did the last live, and I thought it was again a good idea to start doing once a week or once every 2 weeks. I don't know. Let's see if there are a lot of doubts, if people wrote us. Um, it's true that I think people like this a lot last year, and now that we have been some months without doing it, let's repeat the experience, right?
Yes, I think there is a good time just to update people and to refresh some of the concepts. Okay, some people might have had the idea of moving to Spain, and maybe they change plan at the last minute, and now it's a good time to refresh. If it's okay, maybe now we can do it, and let's study the different alternatives that they have. Today, I think that we are going to refresh the concepts about, regarding the non-lucrative permit and the golden visa. And I think it's important because some of the people have very specific ideas about the non-lucrative or about the golden visa that involves just one kind of permit, and they forget about the other options. I don't know if you want me, I know, to make a quick overview of both of the permits, and
Of
that's it.
course. So let me just explain to the new
Mhm.
viewers or followers or fans. We try every week to speak about a permit or two permits, like today, that we are going to talk about non-lucrative and golden visas, and then we go ahead with questions. Don't worry if your question is not about non-lucrative or golden visa, because we know about any kind of immigration permit, but it's just to to try to cover every week a part of the immigration law, but then this is a live to answer you any question you have about immigration. So don't worry if it's a family permit, if it's a student permit, freelance, whatever. Let us know your doubts, and we also will cover them. And this is what we will do every week. So yes, please, Juan, what do you want to start with non-lucrative or with golden visa?
Golden Visa, I think, is perfect because it covers a lot of stuff within the Golden Visa. Okay, people have the idea that the Golden Visa is obtained by investing directly in Spain on a property, but just a property just above 500,000 euros, and they forget that there are another kind of options, or even within the property options, we have a wide variety of options. Okay, for example, yes, the normal, the usual option of getting a non-lucrative permit. Sorry, the golden visa, the investment visa would be to invest into a property of above 500,000 euros. But
Exactly.
it can be more than one property. It can be two properties of 250,000 euros each. It can be three properties of 300,000 euros. It doesn't have to be one property. Okay. The minimum requirement is that you invest in properties and that together all of them they sum uh, above 500,000 euros. Okay, that would be one of the possibilities. But there are other possibilities that maybe you can study. For example, there are people who want to build a house. Okay, they want to build the house of their dreams in Spain, but they want to get the golden visa and they want to be in Spain to be able to choose where they want to live. So we offer them another kind of option, would be to have the golden visa, but in a bank deposit or in an investment fund. uh, but in that case, it's not 500,000 euros, but we are talking about a million euros. Okay, so it will be a property, a bank deposit, an investment fund, or we can also talk about investing in a Spanish company that would also grant you the golden visa. Yes, I know.
Sorry, Juan.
Yeah.
This is very good you mentioned this, because there is a new ruling from the court, because this is very important for the people to know also that, of course, there is the law, okay? But there are some things that happen, or that the law is never so clear, no? So sometimes immigration says that this is not covered by the law or by the options that the law gives you, and they deny it, and people go to the court when it's enough important for them. So in this case, there is a new ruling from last year in which they are also giving the golden visa, like the investment in real estate of 500,000 euros, with buying the plot plus the expense of the construction. So this is very important, because this was a change of criteria. Because before that, as Juan was saying, maybe if you want to buy a plot, okay, and you want to build a house before this change of criteria, which is a change of criteria because the court has correct the immigration authorities, okay? So before that, you needed to choose another option of the investments. But right now, they still not accept the improvements, because that is also something that they ask us a lot. Okay, my house is going to be 400,000 euros, but I have to do the modifications because it's very old, the house. So I am going to have 150,000 euros in expenses. I don't know how you say in English, reformas, renovations, right? I imagine. And
Yes.
this they don't accept it yet. Okay, if they, even if you have to improve the house, they will not accept that extra expense, but they are, yes, accepting the plot plus the building, okay, that you will do. So, well, that is just something new that we didn't talk about, and now
Yes.
our viewers also know this.
Yes, and it's very important because sometimes the house that you want is not available yet because you want to build the house and it has to suit you. But yes, and very important, the house must not have any mortgages on it, so it has to be a direct investment in Spain of 500,000 euros. But still, there is, for example, let's say that you buy a property of 1 million euros, it can have a mortgage above the first 500,000 euros. So the idea is that you invest directly in Spain, 500,000 euros. If you do that, you can get a mortgage or loans or whatever on the rest of the investment. Okay, so it's kind of hard to get just a property without any kind of loans or mortgages, but you can do it. Then I was talking about doing in bank deposit, investment funds, or even in a Spanish company. Okay, you can invest into a Spanish company on the same amount. It has to have real activity. Or there is one special kind of golden visa that is not many people are aware of, which is investing in a general interest company in Spain. Okay, if you are going to develop a project here in Spain and this project is of a special interest for the Spanish government, then they will give you this kind of permit. This is very unknown for people, but we are glad to say that we have achieved to get some of these very special permits for some very special projects here in Spain. And that will be on the part of what kind of golden visa you can apply for. So remember, it's not just on the property side. And then we can talk about the requirements. And for this part, it's very important. Okay, for you people that are watching from the United States or right now from the United Kingdom, remember that now the United Kingdom, as not being part of the European Union, the citizens there that have not yet applied for a permit in Spain have to apply for the permit as any other citizen. So people right now who are watching from United States, from United Kingdom, from other English-speaking countries that do not require visa in order to travel to Spain because you can come as a tourist, it's important to know that you can apply for this kind of permit directly from Spain. That
Yes,
means that you can
very
come to
important.
Spain, you
As a
can
tourist,
exactly, you will have 90 days as a tourist, and it's something that we should refresh to. The 90 days, it's a rule that you can be 90 days in Spain and then you have to live for 90 days also. Some people think that they can live one day, come back, and it refreshes again and you have another 90 days. No. Or you can go to France or Italy and you have another 90 days. No.
yeah, no,
It's 90 days
in
within the
Schengen.
Schengen area, the European Union countries that allow this, and some others like Switzerland. So you have to plan ahead. Okay. For example, if you are sure that you want to come to Spain, you are sure you want to buy a property, you are sure that you want to apply for a golden visa, get in touch with a professional so you can plan ahead. Some people say, I want to buy a property, I'm on the day number 80 and they don't even have an EA number. Okay, an EA number. What's an EA number? Okay, you need an EA number in order to buy a property, and it's not something very complex. It's not rocket science to get an EA number, but it can be kind of hard to get an appointment to get it. Okay, but if you are sure that you want to come to Spain, and in the future, it doesn't have to be at the beginning, but hey, I'm sure that I want to retire in Spain and live in Spain. I want to buy a property in Spain. Not sure which one. Okay, plan ahead, contact us. Maybe we can go ahead and get the NIE number on your behalf before coming, or we can coordinate everything so you have the NIE number. The NIE number is the number for foreigners. Okay, so if you want to do something with the Spanish administration, you will need to get it. And if you are going to apply for the golden visa, and if you are going to buy a property, this is something that the notary in Spain will ask you for. So it's important to get it beforehand or to at least coordinate it. Okay, so let's say that you are in Spain, you have planned ahead, you have your NIE number. If not, we can get it for you. Then you choose your house, you contact the professional. We make sure that the property that you are going to buy is perfect, in perfect conditions in terms of legality. Some of these properties may have something that is not very good, or they have a mortgage that they have not informed you. They are renting this house to some how do you say inquilino, like the tenants, some tenants, and we have to make sure that the contract of leasing is correct, that it doesn't have any kind of debts with the administrations. So we make sure we do
due diligence.
a due diligence exactly of the property, and then we go ahead, we prepare everything with the notary, we buy the property, and then we ask for the permit to the Spanish administration. We do this on your behalf with an authorization from you. For that, they will ask us, of course, and this is another little black sheep, depending on the country that you're applying for, or where you are from, or where you have lived from, is the famous criminal records. Okay, so it's not the same applying with the criminal records of the UK or the criminal records of the FBI, the United States. Some of them take a lot to be issued, like 4 or 5 weeks. So it's important to, again, plan ahead, so we do not run out of the 90 days. So it's just to remind you, we can apply for this permit directly from Spain, but let's not let the time pass without doing it. We can even, let's say that we apply for it on the day 89. You will extend your stay in Spain legally until the permit is approved.
Which is 20 days. This is important. It's a very fast procedure, 20 days.
Very, very good. In terms of time, these kind of permits are approved by the big companies unit, which is not the foreigner's office. That means that everything we do it electronically as a lawyer on your behalf. We will not need the originals, so you can send us everything. And 20 working days for positive silence. That means that if in 20 working days they have not reached a resolution, they will have to give the permit to you. But they are working very fast. So don't worry about not having time left, because once we submit the application, you can stay here. So that will be the procedure. Of course, the requirements will be the main, of course, having invested in Spain, okay? Then not having criminal records in the country where you have lived in the past 5 years. You will have to show that you have economical means to live in Spain. It's not the same to buy the property. You will also have to show that you have an amount of money enough to cover your necessities in Spain and your families. And for that, the amount we're talking about is around 32K for the main applicant and 8,000 euros for each of your family members. So who are the family members you can come with? Okay, that's something that is also good with the golden visa and all of the permits of this kind of law, because you can come, you, your wife or your husband, your children, if they are less than 18 years old, and even your children when they are older than 18 years old, if we can prove that they depend on you economically, okay, like they are still studying, they haven't had their own family, we can apply for the permits too. So all of your family get
work permit also. It's not only residency permit, all of them older than 16, which is the legal age to work in Spain, will have a work permit. And this is the main difference with all the permits of the other law, okay? In these ones is good because all the family members will be able to work. Sorry, Juan.
Yes, no, that's very good, because even if so they get a job offer in Spain, you have the flexibility to work, to not work, and very important. You don't have to live in Spain in order to renew this kind of permit, which is a difference between the non-lucrative permit and the other kind of permit. Are we
But please understand that if you don't live in Spain, you can renew the golden visa whenever, how many times you need, okay, every 2 years, because they give it to you every 2 years, but you will not be able to apply for the passport. That is the main thing and main mistake from the people that are not well informed, okay? So one thing is getting the residency with the golden visa, which you can get it, and just maintaining the property that you can rent to another people or whatever to get benefit. But if you maintain the property, or you even sell it and buy another one of the same the same value or more, okay, if you maintain the value of the investment, you will maintain your residency, your right to live in Spain, but you will not be able to apply for the passport if you haven't been in Spain. If you have been in Spain, of course, you can, okay? Because the criteria is, in order to apply for the passport, is living 9 months per year. Depending in your country, in your nationality, you will have to live for 2 years or for 10 years. These are the normal two times that they ask. For Latin American countries, 2 years. Portugal and Philippines also. For all the others, if you are not married to a Spanish citizen, which is just 1 year, for all the others, it's 10 years. Well, if you want the passport, you have to live more or less an average of 9 months per year. If you haven't lived that, don't worry. You can be renewing and renewing the golden visa, but not getting the passport, because there are a lot of citizens that they don't know this. They get the golden visa, they go back home, and after 2 years or 10 years, whatever applies to them, they want to apply for the passport, and they can't, okay? You cannot if you haven't lived. So you have the right to not to live in Spain if you don't want. Like Juan Carlos is saying, that is an advantage that you only have it with the golden visa. All the other ones, non-lucrative family member of a Spanish citizen, also have to live in Spain 6 months per year. The only one that doesn't ask you to live 6 months per year is the golden visa. But be careful with that advantage, because it can become, wow, it can become a disadvantage if you haven't lived and you wanted the passport, because maybe you have confused the requirements. Sorry, Juan.
And that's perfect to clarify, because I have had the cases like not from our clients, because we state this from the beginning. Remember, if you want to apply for Spanish nationality, you have to live here, and it's normal. I mean, if you want to be the national of a country, you have
need
to be
like
here
integrated a
within
little
the
bit more
Spanish society. Exactly. And I
and
think that we have
also with the permanent residency, because some of you are also thinking in the permanent residency. Remember that the permanent residency or long-term residency in Spain, you can get it after 5 years. So of course, if you get the passport after 2 years, you forget about this permit. But a lot of US citizens, Chinese citizens, all these citizens that need 10 years for the passport, they think first in the long-term residency. If you have a golden visa and you haven't been a lot in Spain, you cannot get the long-term residency, because the long-term residency only they will give it to you if you've been outside a maximum of 10 months in the last 5 years. So this is an average of 2 months per year. I repeat, 10 months outside Spain is the limit. To be outside Spain is the limit in 5 years, 10 months, okay? Is the limit to get the European Union long-term residency. So be careful when you are a golden visa. It has a lot of advantages, okay? It has the advantage of not having to live here. It has the advantage of including the family members with work permit. It has the advantage of applying from here. A lot of advantages. But if you use the advantage of not living in Spain, you forget about the option of long-term residency and passport.
Yeah, the good thing about it is that the renewal of this kind of permit is for 5 years. So let's say that you get a residence permit, the initial one for 2 years. Then
Yeah.
when you renew it, it's not for 2 years, so it's
It's
for
true.
5 years. So directly, it will be
It's
for
like
5 years.
a kind of permanent residency. Yes.
Exactly. And they are even thinking about getting the first permit directly for 5 years.
Yeah.
Let's hope that they do this very soon. But yeah, that on the part of the advantages. Okay. And I think that we had a question regarding this part of the
Ah,
permit, which will be, do I need to stay? No. Yeah. Do I need to stay or live in Spain if I apply for investment visa for residency from Philippines to Spain? And okay, we can either apply directly from Spain if you get if you are here as tourists, or you can apply directly from your country of origin. The important thing here
yes.
is that if you apply directly from your country and the consulate, you will get a visa that will be valid for 1 year. This is not a residence permit, even if you come to Spain, and then they
Exactly.
give you a TIE card, which will say residence permit because it will say that. This will not be a residence permit, but you can that when you come, even if this visa is for 1 year, when you arrive to Spain, you can directly apply for the residence permit and get the 2 years residence permit. So it's important to get this distinction straight. You can apply for the visa. This visa will be for 1 year, but once you come to Spain, you will have to ask for the residence permit. That's why sometimes it's more efficient to do it directly from Spain because you avoid going to the consulate times, the consulate requirements, and everything else regarding the consulates, which is the times.
Especially if you are thinking, for example, the passport that we were talking. So, for example, if you get the visa at the consulate, you have a visa, okay? You have a visa that allows you to enter for the first year uh, as many times you want, okay? But doesn't give you residency. It gives you a right to be in Spain without doing anything else. But if you don't do the residency, which is a separate, different procedure, the residency doesn't start for the passport. So you cannot get that advantage. You only have the visa to enter back and forward, but you don't have the residency, right, Juan?
Yeah, but you can apply for it once you come here, so it's
Of course.
easier. Yeah, so you come here with your visa. You don't have to wait until the end of that visa of the year to apply for. So once you reach, once you touch Spanish soil, you should apply for the residence permit, and there you're good to go. Very important. In these kind of visas have a lot of advantages, but they have one very important obligation. That is to inform to the Spanish government about anything you do regarding the investment. Okay, let's say
Yeah.
that you buy a property, but you found one that you like more and you want to switch the property. You can do it as long as you say to the Spanish government, "Hey, I'm selling my property of 500,000 euros, but I'm buying a property that is above that the same amount, I'm going to change the investment, okay? Because the main requirement is to keep an investment in Spain. So you can do that as long as you communicate everything within 30 days to the Spanish government, so you can switch investments. The same happens with, hey, I haven't found the property yet, but I want the golden visa. So I'm going to make an investment on a investment fund or a bank deposit of 1 million euros. And then at the middle of the first year, you say, hey, I found a property. I would like to
Exactly.
use the money that I got on my investment fund to buy a property. You can do that, but you have to say this. So it's not like going free and not trying to say anything. They are not very strict with the things, but you will have to communicate everything. Of course, we as lawyers, we do everything for you. Hey, Juan Carlos, I just switch. I'm going to change my property. We do this on your behalf, but this is very important. You have to say that. And before I forget, regarding applying for this as a tourist, okay, let's say that you come here as a tourist, remember one very important thing, and this applies for every kind of residence permit or even the student permit. So it's for everyone. You can only apply for this permit if you have an entry stamp from Spain, okay, when you arrive. If you arrive directly and they stamp your passport from Spain, if you're arriving from other European Union country, you can do it too, but you will have to add one step up. So if you come from the United States, from London directly to Madrid, perfect. Barcelona, perfect. They will stamp your passport and we can submit that to apply for your residence permit. Good. But let's say that you had to make a flight first to Paris or to Rome or to Amsterdam. Okay, it's very common. Then your entry stamp would be on Paris. And when we want to apply for the residence permit, they will say, hey, we cannot do this because you have not proved that you are in Spain. Therefore,
Exactly.
you have to do something that is called a declaration of entry, declaración de entrada. That is arriving at Spain, you have to go to the police. It's very easy. We can take care of the requirements of that and just announce to the Spanish police that you are arriving. They will give you a paper, stamp it, and then we're good to go for the residence permit. These are some stuff that might not seem very hard, but if you don't get it, we will have some issues that can be, of course, corrected, but it's better if you have it straight. And okay, we have another question.
Regarding the non-lucrative. Okay, but
shall I go speak about the non-lucrative a little bit before moving now with the questions?
Yes, what I want to say about the non-lucrative, and now you explain the requirements, because we do a lot, is that, for example, Juan was saying all the procedures that you have to do in order to buy the property, okay? Get the NIE, choose the property, check that the property doesn't have any previous owners or something that is wrong and that you really cannot buy the property, okay? That's why we have to do the due diligence. And then you buy it through the notary, and then you go to the property register office and you register your new purchase, that you are the owner of the new apartment, so you can have a document that is called Registro de Dominio y Cargas, which says that this one is your property. Okay, this can take very long. Okay, maybe even you choosing the apartment or the apartments, because can be different, several properties. Okay, can take time, longer than 90 days. Okay, to choose it and do all this. So non-lucrative visa is something that a lot of people don't know, and it's a very good option before the golden visa if you are not ready. Okay, because if you are ready, of course we go directly to the golden visa, but if you haven't even find the correct properties for you, the non-lucrative visa is a visa that they give you with savings. You have to show 30,000 euros in savings for the first member of the family, plus 10,000 euros for every family member, okay? And these are savings in your bank. You are not, it's not mandatory for you to spend the money, or it's not mandatory for you to leave the money blocked in the bank. You do whatever you want with your money. It's just showing that you have that savings in the bank. And it's a residency that they will give you for a year. They will not give you a work permit. You cannot work with this residency, but it's very useful for people for the first stage if you haven't found the properties. And it's very useful also if some of your family members cannot be included in the golden visa. For example, it's very common that you are coming with the golden visa and you want your parents to come also to live to Spain, and the condition of the family members to be able to go through the golden visa is that they have to be economically dependent on you. But if this is not the case, if they have their own economy, they can come. They cannot come with the golden visa through you, but they can come with a non-lucrative visa. They will show this, or maybe the retirement pensions, okay, plus savings, whatever, and they come with non-lucrative visa. So there are a lot of situations that are very related to people that are going to apply for golden visas, and sometimes it's better to come with a non-lucrative than with a golden visa, at least for the beginning, because also your time start counting. So if you want to come with the golden visa, you don't have the apartments, and also you are interested in getting the passport, it is better that instead of being here in Spain 90 days as a tourist, you come directly with the non-lucrative, and then you switch to the golden visa, because those 3 months or 4 months, whatever you have spent looking for the apartments, because if you have the non-lucrative, you are not so in a hurry. You don't have only the 90 days as a tourist. You can be a little bit more comfortable with the time because you have a whole year with the non-lucrative. So whenever you are ready, you switch to the golden visa. But those first months of preparation have count towards the passport, which is also a good thing.
Yeah, as I now was saying, the non-lucrative is now very popular in Spain. Okay, because in this post-pandemic world, people have understood that they can live wherever they want, and they want to live in Spain. Spain is one of the most chosen countries in the world to live on because of the certain advantages of living here, and it's basically proving that you have the economical means to live in Spain without working. Okay, that will be the idea. Some of the spirit of the law, they say that is thought for people who have already retired. Okay, but it's not. Even though they thought about them. Okay, because it's like, okay, you want to retire, you come to Spain, but it's not just for them. If you can prove to Spain that you have your enough economical means to live in Spain for a year, you and your family, then you can apply for this. So it's basically proving that you don't have criminal records. That's the same with all the other permits. They will ask for the criminal records in all the other cases. Some of the other consulates may ask for proof of accommodation. Okay, that
Yeah.
you either have the means to insure an apartment or a place to live in Spain, or that you already have something already booked in Spain. And well, some of the documents that we take care of, like the letter of motivations, preparing the interview is very important. Okay, right now a lot of people are choosing this kind of permit to come to Spain to work remotely. Okay, and the Spanish government is aware of the necessities of this new era, and they are approving these new permits, these new digital
Well,
nomads and
yes.
remote worker visas. But it's not against the law to work remotely if you have an lucrative permit, but the consulates are not aware of this, some of them,
No,
and they are
they
very
deny it.
against it. Yeah, so some of the requirements are preparing this interview. Okay, some of you may even have a
Yes,
small.
because one thing, and this is much worse than the golden visa, it is mandatory to apply from the consulate, okay? And it's something that makes this permit much more complicated sometimes, because consulates sometimes don't make things easy, okay? The other way around, they make it more difficult than there are, right?
Yes, and they have their own requirements in each consulate. Okay, so we have the law, which of course should
It's
be
the same
the
for
main,
everyone,
exactly,
for every
but
country, but
the consulates, they say they make up some stuff. Okay, and over the way they like came up with some with a lot of imagination, they ask for different stuff, or they imagine stuff of the applicant. So we have to with the experience and with the feel of the clients, we prepare them for the interviews in order to answer properly the questions of the officials there. And the only way you can apply for, because okay, the non-lucrative, you can apply directly from the consulate, but you can apply for it also from Spain only if you
ah,
have already been here for 1 year.
for a
So it's
year, yes.
so
Of
yeah,
as a resident, not as
exactly.
a student, okay? As a resident.
Yeah, let's say that you have a high qualified worker. You have a cuenta ajena permit. You have an intracompany permit, and you don't want to work anymore, or you've been
Or
fired.
you have a golden visa, but you decide to sell your apartment, but you haven't found another one, or maybe you don't even want to buy another one.
Exactly. For any kind of reasons, you don't need to work in Spain. Say, hey, I don't get the investment, I lost my job or whatever. You can apply directly from Spain for the non-lucrative permit. The requirements will be the same, but you will be able to avoid the criminal records if you've been here, and the amount of money they will ask you for the same, and you will get the non-lucrative from Spain. But that only when you've been here for 1 year. Okay, when you are either renewing your permit or you've been here completely for these 12 months, and we can apply for that. And well, it's the same in other issues. We are hoping to get the remote worker visa approved
In June,
on
they
this
told
summer.
us
Yeah,
I don't think so, but hopefully it is.
yeah, let's
Ah,
put our hopes in that.
regarding the non-lucrative visa, they give it to you for 1 year, and after 1 year for 2 years, and another 2 years. And regarding this question, so after 1 year or after the following 2 years, you have to renew it. And of course, if you are in the renovation, because you need to renew it from 2 months before to 3 after. We always advise to do it 2 months before, of course, because the law has a possibility which they could fine you if you do it in the following 90 days. This never happens. Okay, they never find anyone to do it in the following 90 days. But I think that if you have the chance to do it in the previous 60 days, is better. But in any case, if you are doing the renovation and your NIE expires, you don't have the resolution yet. You need to do the autorización de regreso. The autorización de
No, but
regreso.
she's asking about a Schengen country. I think that you didn't see that part of the question.
Okay. This is a very good question. Really, if you read closely the law, okay, the autorización de regreso is only to go to your home country and come back. It's not valid for Schengen areas. Not even for another country which is not your country. They are flexible with this, okay? But what we really do is for our clients is doing an explanation, right? Of course, Juan, that always have to fix the problems, advise not to travel if you don't have the resolution yet.
Yeah, I mean, within the Schengen area, there are no migratory controls. Okay, if you imagine that you have to go to Paris, to Madrid,
the airplane companies
sometimes they are more populist than the
it.
Pope,
Yes.
and they are they shouldn't ask for this because they don't have to do it. But yes, in order to be tranquil and to sleep well and everything, so it's better to keep a low profile. But of course, Madrid is taking ages to renew. I mean, we're talking about a lot of time here in Madrid, so that's why the advice of Ainhoa of renewing as soon as possible is the best. If you can renew on the day 59 of the first 60 days, that would be perfect.
But be careful, count well the days, because it's also, if you don't count correctly and you do it before the 60 days, is as worse as doing it after the 90. So it's going to be what is called inadmitido. So they will not resolve it. Okay.
Exactly.
So be careful with
counting. And doing it with a lawyer guarantees that it will be fine, because with the lawyer, when we apply for your renewal, we will see it on the system. Okay, you will give us the documents, we will put your dates, we will put the file number and everything on the system that the lawyers can access of the foreigners office, and it will say your residence permit renewal, it's ready to be submitted, and we will see that everything's perfect renewal, even the file number. With that, we can submit the application, prepare everything that is ready, review the documents, and then with that application renewal, you will be able to apply for the regreso if you want to go back to your origin country, or if you really need to travel within the Schengen area, we can prepare a document that states that you are renewing your permit, the receipt of the application, your old permit, and everything else. So you can travel more tranquil with than without that. But yeah, try to keep a low profile within renewals. But of course, you cannot be limited by this foreigners office to travel.
And something important, non-lucrative renewals has a positive silence after 3 months. That means if they have an answer in 3 months, they cannot deny it, okay? And if they deny it, we can appeal it, because it's not a possible denial if it's after 90 days from submission. This also we didn't talk about this in the golden visa, but it's even more important. They have a positive silence of just 20 days for even the initial one, because with the non-lucrative it's just for the renewal after 3 months, but with the golden visa it's 20 days even for the initial one. So if they don't check it, it needs to be an approval in the day 21. So this is very good, but it's even better for the renewals, because sometimes your circumstances change, and well, it's a little option that you have to get a renewal even if you don't meet the requirements. I'm not advising this, but it's true that if you are a little short in the money that you show or whatever, you may are lucky enough.
Something very important about it. Madrid may be flexible with the economical means, but other cities are not. Let's go to
Sometimes
Malaga. Let's go
they
to Valencia.
Malaga is asking double also.
Yes.
Because
Malaga is asking double. Valencia is asking double. Asturias is asking double.
wow, because that is a criteria. The law doesn't say anything. So the tougher criteria, which is the one that Juan is referring, is that after 1 year, if you want to renew, because they give it to you for 2 years, they ask you double, which is strange, because if first they ask you for 30,000 euros and you haven't been able to work in a year, it's difficult to have double money. So the people that have more money, of course, maybe, but if you are a little short in the money, after 1 year of not working, you are not going to have double. And in Barcelona, as Juan is saying, Malaga and Asturias, they are asking for double. Madrid is more flexible with that, and they are just asking for the 30,000 plus 10 per every family member, even that they give you for 2 years.
Exactly. And just imagine an example. Let's say that it's you with your wife. So let's say it's 40,000 euros. Okay. If you do it in Madrid, you can keep the 40,000. Let's say that you go to Valencia, they will ask for 40,000 euros and for 80,000 euros, sorry. So it's double the amount, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to choose properly, or um, prepare for this issue when it comes. And this related to the question that Maria Bell is asking from Facebook. She is saying, for proof of funds for a non-lucrative visa renewal, can I submit a translated bank verification letter from a US bank and one statement not translated? And that the answer would be depends on where you apply. In Valencia or Alicante, for example, they will say the bank statement and the bank, it's fine as long as it's notarized, apostille, and sworn translated. In Madrid, a bank statement that is sworn translated will be valid enough for a renewal. Okay. So it depends. Okay. However, our advice in order to avoid any issues would be to get a bank certificate stating that you are going, if it's Madrid, perfect. Okay. Madrid, it's enough with the bank statement translated by a sworn translator. Okay. Remember that we also offer these services. Okay. So you can.
We have Tamara. We have to do a video someday, a new video from Tamara, but Tamara is a sworn translator, the one of the list of the Ministry of Affairs.
Yeah, that's very important,
we have a lot of translations.
because a lot of people say, "Hey, I speak Spanish and English. Why don't I make my own
Yeah,
translations?"
or I hire a company that does translations. But even if it's a very good and official company, in order to do the immigration procedures, translation have to be done by a sworn translator, and those are the certified translators in the list of the Ministry of Affairs.
Exactly. And yes, I'm afraid that it's taking around 4 to 5 months in order to get a renewal.
The previous
Yeah,
questions.
so it's
But
taking
what
a
you
lot.
need to be comfortable with is like after 3 months, for the renewal, he's talking, right?
Yeah, she's talking about renewal.
After 3 months, remember that must be an approval. Okay. There is also here, I have my own. But yes, but there is another that is with a non-lucrative. It says, Hola, Ainhoa and Carlos. If my family and spouse get citizenship in Spain, can I continue on non-lucrative visa, or do I have to change to family visa for European Union? This is a very good question. So, in general terms, you must switch. Okay, so the law says that if you are a family member of a European Union citizen, you need to have the family member permit. But there is a small paragraph that can be used if you don't want to do it, that it says that this will not be applicable if other permit is more beneficial for you, but you will have to really show and be able to see and show that benefit, because for example, you can see the benefit in a golden visa sometimes, because you are not, it's not mandatory for you to be here 6 months and the family member, yes, but With a non-lucrative visa, I don't know, if you find that there is an advantage, you could say, but if not, you should switch. Another thing is that immigration is not the best well-organized institution. So even if they become Spanish, maybe they don't know that you are the family member and that you still are non-lucrative, right, Juan?
Yeah, and the time that counts is when this person gets the Spanish nationality, not from the date that
For
they give you the
the national,
resolution.
yeah.
Exactly, not but from the day that they give that they make the jura, the oath that you call the
And
resolution.
also another, no, and not only that, for the passport after a year, the marriage registration. So you know that if you've been married outside, so like in the US or wherever, your marriage is not registered in Spain. When your husband or wife become Spanish, okay, you have to do a procedure in which you register the marriage in Spain. And it's when the marriage is registered in Spain when the year starts. And the registration of the marriage takes a lot of time, right, Juan? Because
Yeah, it's
you deal with
taken
them.
within 6 months at least, and up to 12 months for the
So
registration.
imagine you have to do, your wife or husband has to do the jura, after you do the marriage registration in Spain, and then is when the 1 year counts, because it's not my interpretation of the law, because I wouldn't think that, but there are a lot of rulings from the court saying that.
Yeah. And Rupesh, for you to apply for the residence permit as a relative for a European Union citizen, you will have to wait for her to get the jura, that. And from that moment, when she gets the
Okay.
birth certificate also, then you will be able to submit the application, okay? So you can apply
Yeah.
for the renewal, and then when she makes the oath, the jura, then you can move on. And I think it's better to switch to the European Union relatives permit, because the non-lucrative doesn't allow you to work. The other one is for 5 years. It will allow you to work. So usually it's hard to
I
prove
think it's
that
better, yes.
yeah, just switch, but do it well. As I know, I was saying, it's mandatory for Spanish citizens to register the marriage. That will take a while, but we can apply for the European Union citizen permit, relative or European citizen, as long as we prove that we have already begin the process of registering the marriage, because it takes a while. You cannot wait a lot for you to move on with your life. So as long as you show, hey, I've done my homework, I'm working on the registration of the marriage, we can apply for this
Yes,
modification of your
sorry.
permit.
That I was thinking about already in the
Yeah, the
passport,
nationality. Yeah,
the passport that the husband or wife of a Spanish citizen can apply after a year. So that's why I was thinking in that, and it is after the year of registration of the marriage.
yeah, exactly. So the first thing will be to modify, and then 1 year after the registration of the marriage, then you will be able to apply for the Spanish nationality, and then all of you will be Spanish. Perfect. Great. Any other question regarding non-lucrative, Raquel? I think that I saw another one, or it was mainly about the
For proof of funds, no, ya lo hemos hecho. How
or
long do
the
I have to stay within the year before application? Or do they count the time out of Spain from the beginning of a non-lucrative, or just the 1 year prior to application? So before the application doesn't matter. Where have you been? Well, it matters because you have to show the criminal records of the places that you have lived in the last 5 years in order for the first application. But when you apply and when you are in your first year, of course, it's important that you are 6 months per year in Spain in order to renew. But before applying, doesn't matter. Or maybe he means if you are, I don't know, but
how
that
long
is
do I
so.
have to
All the
stay?
permits except the golden visa, in order to renew, you have to be 6 months per year. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that will be the rule in this case. Always, in order to renew, Even the family member of a European Union citizen is 6 months per year, and perfect. And we have another
Okay,
question
this
from
was
Mint.
the first one. I have my
Okay.
own online business and I want to apply for the self-employed visa. How much profit does the business have to make to qualify? I don't want a digital nomad visa because I want to work towards residency. Well, this is something that they are telling me a lot. Yes, I'm going to make a clarification. I don't have the law. It hasn't been approved, so I don't know. But I'm sure, I'm 99% sure that this residency, the nomad visa, will also qualify towards the long-term residency. It's just it will give you a residency, and the way to prove that you qualify is because you have a remote contract or something like that. We will see the conditions, but it's going to be a residency, and all kind of residencies will count towards the 5 years long-term residency. That is why I'm 99% sure. I will have to read the law and see if it says any exception, but will count. In any case, you can answer Juan the financial regarding the financial means of a freelance visa. Perfect. But don't get confused and don't think, because there are a lot of people telling me this, don't think that your nomad visa will not count towards the long-term residency, because I think it will.
Okay. For the part of the financial means and stuff. Okay, so you have your own online business, and you're going to be a freelance in Spain. How much profit, potentially, how much profit that you need to have? It will be the profit necessary in order to sustain your business and to sustain yourself. So we are talking about getting at least 15,000 euros per year, okay, which will be above the minimum salary, and double the APREM, the index that matches for this. So it will be maintaining yourself and maintaining the business. So the part of maintaining the business will be based on the amounts that you are telling them that you need in order to be, but they cannot be very low, okay? They are not liking the options of I'm going to be a freelance and I don't need anything else. I just have my computer that I already own, and with this I'm going to prepare everything. Of course, it's what people are doing right now. You can be a freelance like that because it's enough. We are not in the 19th century, and you don't need to own a shop to sell stuff directly from there in order to get a free visa. But some of the foreign offices in Spain are still linked to the 19th century. So we need to show a little bit more of what you want to do with your business. So, of course, you have to take into account the money that you will need to spend in order to get licenses in Spain, like software licenses. Even you can get the if you need to show that you are going to be paying taxes in Spain, the social security cost. Maybe you can buy some other equipment, get a leasing of a place that you are going to be co-working there. So it cannot be as low as I don't need any money to support my business. So to answer your question, the profit I think should be at least 15,000 euros. That will be the minimum, okay? But if you are saying that you need more money to sustain your business, more than that. And in this case, the more the better, okay? As more as you can say that you will be earning, because we are talking about potential here, okay? On the freelance permits, of course, if you have previous experience and you can show that you worked before on this same area, showing your past experiences will be very useful. But we are talking about potential. We are showing a business plan. So the more you can show that you can earn with your business plan, the better. Okay, it will have to be justified, not just saying I'm going to be earning 1 million euros per year. You have to say how come that you are speaking about getting this out amount of money. But at least per year on profit 15, but profit, not invoicing that amount. Profit 15,000 euros, but it has to stick to your business plan.
Okay. Raper says, thank you for the answer. Can we already register the marriage in Spain while on non-lucrative, or do we have to wait till her application is approved? So once one of you is Spanish, okay, you can go ahead and register the marriage. One of you are Spanish.
But if you already know that there is an approval of the resolution of her saying that the Spanish nationality is being granted, and you have to go to the oath, and you can do it at the notary now. You can go to notary and not wait to the civil register to do it. You can not apply for the registration, but you can move on with the documents, because remember, they will ask you for a birth certificate of your own, do the
Yeah.
apostille. You can be working of getting the padron certificate. You can be working of getting the proof of the children, whatever. So if you say, "Hey, I'm going to be doing the jura on September," maybe I can begin on getting my birth certificate now because it will not expire until 6 months after. But yes, until one of you has the DNI, then you can move on, because one of the documents that they ask you for to register the marriage is the Spanish birth certificate of the spouse that is a Spanish citizen and the DNI. So without it, you cannot apply for anything.
So here Muhammad is saying, very related, what are the requirements for residency in Spain on marriage purpose? I assume that is because you are married to a Spanish citizen, because if not, there is also what is called reunification, that is when you are married to someone that has a residency, so they can reunificate you 1 year after residency, okay? But if the person is Spanish, whenever it's Spanish, can apply for your family member. And these are marriage certificate, okay, and financial means of the Spanish citizen, empadronamiento, so the registration of the address in Spain, both of you in Spain, and private insurance if the Spanish citizen is not working. If you are not Spanish, if this is a reunification, remember, the person that wants to reunificate must have been living in Spain for a year at least, okay? So you also need the marriage certificate with the apostille or legalization and translation. You also need the financial means, but in addition to that is like the family member, you need informe de vivienda adecuada. This is to check that you have an apartment, wherever you live, to be adequate, okay? So there are different ways that they will do that. Maybe you give the documents of your apartment and they say that it's okay, or maybe they decide to go in presence and check the apartment, and they will give you this informe de vivienda adecuada, okay? So normally it's been working. If it's not working, good financial means, the vivienda adecuada, the document that I just explained you, and it's not the quickest way if it's not through a Spanish citizen, okay? Because once it's approved, the person goes to the consulate and applies for the visa. So more or less it's 4 or 5 months normally, hopefully a little less. Juan, does arraigo laboral also requires financial means? Good question. I've always done it with financial means, but I think so, right? What do you think?
If you show that you have in the case of arraigo laboral, the main requirement is that you show that you've been working in Spain for 6 months, legally or
Exactly.
illegally, or however you've been working.
Exactly.
Okay, that's one of the main achievements. And one of the documents will be to show that you either have a job offer that will let you live in Spain, or that you have enough financial means to live in Spain. That financial means also include the insurance. If you're going to be working, then the public assistance will cover you. If not, private insurance will do.
Okay, I think we just did it in 1 hour. Perfect. I know. With Rosa says, hi, I need a contract of work, any info, because I don't know any companies that offer contract of work for people from the other countries. No, it's the other way around, okay? You have to find someone that are interested in your profile, and of course, if they want to hire you, we can be in contact with that company and explain the immigration procedures, because sometimes they don't know. In those companies they have lawyers, but there are no immigration lawyers, so they don't know that it's possible to hire you. And let's give you a little overview of the most common ways. Highly qualified. If you are a highly qualified, that means that you have a degree or a master's degree and they are hiring you for a high position in the company. Then the other very common way is if you have a degree or a master's degree in the last 2 years, it's called Residencia de Prácticas. It also works very well. If you are if you have parents living in Spain, okay, it's also a possibility. Or also if you are from Chile or Peru. Those are the most common ones. Of course, there are others, and ask about your situation and we will let you know. But you have to find the company that wants to hire you, and we will talk to the company and explain that way is possible and how it will work.
And
Okay?
people do it. The companies do it a lot of time, and our job is that. So
Exactly. So
yeah,
imagine we
yeah.
wouldn't have a law firm if companies didn't
Didn't
do
hire
the
foreigners. Yeah,
procedures.
exactly. They are hiring, so contact them, reach them out. They will ask you, "Do you have a residence permit to work in Spain?" No, but I have a lawyer that can take care of that. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, and it's fast. It can be in 20 working days. It can be even less than that. So do not be afraid to apply for jobs in Spain. Apply for jobs in Spain. If your talent is good, if your CV is good, if your experience is good, they will want to hire you. And if they want to hire you, we can take care of the migratory part. Let them not worry about it. We can take care of it and apply on their behalf because the company sponsors you. But we will be doing that. They will not have to worry. We can take care of it.
Exactly. So, Natasha Laseca, I have a question for you, live stream, regarding immigration, which is pareja de hecho. In Madrid, it says you have to be empadronarse with your boyfriend for at least a year. Is it possible to still do empadronarse even if it's less than a year? Are there cases that successfully got pareja de hecho without needing? Yes, okay, I've done it. And it's something that I fight a lot with the minds of the clients, because it's true that they say that, but if you are legal, okay, that is a very important, even as a student, okay, but legal, not irregular, and you both have been in different address in Madrid, but both in Madrid in the last year, okay, it could work. We have had in the past several cases approved. But that are the main two requirements, okay? Being legal and, well, and being in at least both in Madrid, okay? And it could work.
Perfect. Great. I think that with that,
And one thing, and we finish. If you don't have the pareja de hecho, remember that you can do pareja estable, and we will talk about in next video, but not if you have been empadronados separately, because pareja estable, they are even tougher than pareja de hecho. But, well, thank you very much. Thank you, Juan, for being here with me, and Raquel, that is behind scenes organizing this, and all of you for your questions, because this is what we want, to see your questions, because these are questions that if you have them, a lot of people have them, and is what we want to talk about, all your immigration doubts. Okay, so thank you very much. See you next week.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.